Introspection is one of those fundamental skills that everyone should know about, everyone should be doing it, and yet most people aren't. And one of the reasons people are feeling so overwhelmed these days is, particularly in regard to social media and digital input, is because they're not taking the time to process it, which is what happens with introspection. So if you don't know me, my name is Aya. I'm a meditation teacher, clinical hypnotherapist, and a very general self-help guide. So I like to help people understand themselves. I like to help people relate to each other. And I like to help people build the life they want and improve in ways that will actually bring them happiness. And I spend time introspecting pretty much every single day. And the days that I don't, I notice. Every once in a while, the subject of overwhelm comes up. And overwhelm can mean a lot of different things. So I'm going to be talking about overwhelm in terms of like distractions, and primarily like social media and just our modern digital world constantly distracting people and preventing them from introspecting. Now, if you don't know what introspection is, it is observing your own thoughts and feelings. It is you spending time with your internal world and ignoring or drowning out all of the distractions of the external world. So introspection is all about observing, analyzing, examining your internal processes. It is how you function on a personal internal level. How you think, how you feel, how you view the world, and how you come to decisions and make judgments about things. Like, you need to understand how you are doing that, how that works. And a lot of people do not spend nearly enough time introspecting. And if you watched my video about how I approach self-help, you know that you figuring yourself out, noticing your thoughts, your feelings, that is the foundation of how I approach self-help. You need to know yourself. If you don't know who you are and you don't know how you act, react, how you view the world, you're not going to be able to puzzle anything out. You're not going to be able to approach any complicated issue, including relationships with others, with any clarity. You need to know yourself in order to even come close to understanding others. You hear a lot about the benefits of meditation and, like, as a hypnotherapist, even the very specific and like just amazing benefits that you can get out of hypnosis. But introspection is the skill that underlies all of those different mental states. So introspection is the skill you need to build for meditation, hypnosis, trance, and including those spiritual aspects like praying or casting spells, which are just different cultural practices for the same mental process, the same mental state. It is asking for what you want, which, whether you're religious or not, no matter what you believe, just the act of doing that is psychologically beneficial. And I know it's a side tangent, but those kind of spiritual practices, the reason that they are so psychologically beneficial is because you need to know what you want, you need to have enough self-respect to ask for it, and you need the willpower to sit down and do something, even if it is just a metaphorical, creative, spiritual thing, like something not rooted in reality, but it is rooted in who you are and what you want out of life. And so all of these different pieces fit together, and introspection is that skill that allows you to do this. People who don't know how to introspect, who aren't really good at it, they're not practiced at it, they have such a harder time achieving altered mental states. And you know what a lot of people do when they want to achieve an altered mental state and they can't do it themselves? They turn to substances. People who do drugs or drink in order to reach those altered mental states, a lot of them have not cultivated this skill. They don't know how to do it themselves, so they need to basically cheat to get there. And a lot of people do not realize how much they are cheating themselves by using some external substance to put them in that state instead of learning the skills to get themselves there. When was the last time you sat down or laid down and just thought about what you think, what you feel, what is going on in your life, and how to logically parse through everything and have that problem solver mindset. Like, when was the last time that you felt in control of your thoughts, of your feelings, of your life? Like, emotional regulation comes up a lot, but thoughtful direction is another useful component there, because it's not just that sometimes your emotions boil over and like you don't have control over your emotions. Like, that is a skill in itself. Sometimes it is also your thoughts. You don't understand what you are thinking or how you are coming to conclusions. So critical thinking, problem solving, all of these things hinge around introspection. And true introspection is basically impossible when you are constantly distracted by external stimuli. So if you can't get off TikTok, guess what you're not doing? Introspecting. You are not practicing this skill when you are distracted by something else. I'm going to do something very, not self-sabotagey, but definitely not in my best interest making this video. I'm going to tell you to get offline. Turn the videos off. Turn everything off. When was the last time you sat in silence and noticed what came up? You don't even know what you think or feel without the constant input of external stimuli. That is not good for you. That is not, I mean, it is normal for today, but that is not normal for humans. You need time alone. You need time in silence. You need time in an atmosphere that isn't just always bombarded by different things that are drawing your attention and pulling your thoughts in different ways. An easy way to start, like very beginner practice, is to listen to music. But if your thoughts are being pulled by the lyrics of the music, if you are still colored by what is going on with that creative medium, then you're still not truly introspecting in a neutral way. You are basically meditating or going into self-hypnosis, depending on the state, with the music directing you. So you need time alone in silence to see what naturally comes up when you aren't being guided by something else. And again, don't mean to be shooting myself in the foot, because I've done lots of guided meditations. I've done hypnotherapy sessions. I have acted as a guide in a lot of different capacities, but I understand the importance of learning these skills yourself. My goal was always to get my clients doing these things on their own. They need to be able to cultivate these skills and practice and be their own guide. Which might have been why I never, got rich and super successful, because I was trying to get my clients to do the thing themselves. I wanted their self-improvement to be the main goal. I'll still act as an occasional guide, but if everyone could learn these skills for themselves, you don't need as many professionals. You need to be the one who is thinking for yourself, feeling for yourself, coming to your own conclusions, critically thinking, and understanding the world around you in a way that makes sense to you. And you don't get that when you are always constantly distracted by external stimuli. Turn things off. And I also really advocate for using creative mediums like music or film, video games, any form of like creative storytelling, narrative, like using that as a way to better understand yourself through comparison, how you relate to people or characters, how you relate to ideas. Like, that does help, but it's not the same. It is still an external force pulling your attention in a certain direction. It is directing you. It is affecting you. And if you want to truly introspect in the most, pure form of the word, you should be doing that alone in silence and just seeing where your thoughts go, what feelings come up. The number of people who get surprised by their reactions to just doing that, just sitting in silence alone in the dark, the number of people who are surprised by what comes up is very high. When they remove all distractions, like, they can have profound experiences just sitting alone in silence in like a dim or a dark place. I've met people who have said they have never done this as an adult, that It's something that, with our patterns and behaviors in modern day, a lot of people don't naturally do it unless they know what to do and they have a reason to. Introspection is the fully conscious version of altered mental states. So to help people wrap their mind around introspection, I've even called it waking meditation, where you're fully conscious, you know what's going on, you're going through your thoughts, you're noticing your feelings, and you're just examining and observing and analyzing what is going on with you. It is the ability to focus, to concentrate, to think about concepts and ideas in a deeper way. It is fundamental to critical thinking. And a lot of people want to talk about critical thinking, and they think that they know how to go through all of the processes for finding the right conclusion. But a lot of those people are not going through their own thoughts. They're going through someone else's. A lot of people think that they are right, that they are intellectually and emotionally correct, that their opinions don't need to change, that their viewpoints are cemented and that is reality. A lot of people like to think that they are critically thinking. You notice inconsistencies in values and principles when they act or when they speak. But a lot of people are not thinking or feeling for themselves. They are just taking in external viewpoints, thoughts and feelings, and it makes them extremely vulnerable to manipulation. This is how you counteract that. A lot of people don't know their own thoughts. They don't know their own feelings. They're not coming to their own conclusions. They are being set up to think and feel a certain way so that they act a certain way. Introspection is a very simple, basic skill with very significant effects. And if you want to improve your understanding of yourself, it starts with introspection. A lot of people haven't lost their minds. They never found them. They didn't start with anything stable or generated from their own thinking and feeling ability. A lot of people are trying to find themselves when they never had themselves to begin with. Start here. Again, shooting myself in the foot here, but all the entertainment and rage bait and self-help in the world is not going to help you as much as turning the screen off and figuring yourself out. Anyone would be overwhelmed if they were watching 50 videos a day and reading 10 articles a day and getting all this input from all these sources, some of which they agree with, some of which they disagree with. But if you are constantly going by what you are being told, you're not figuring out what you think. Echo chambers are really satisfying for people. They're very tempting, but they're also still exhausting. If you're just constantly getting input, even stuff that you agree with, that is still taking time away from yourself. The outer sources are for entertainment and learning and interacting with the world, but that should not be your 24/7. You should not be going a full day without moments where you are just interacting with you. So again, shooting myself in the foot, turn this video off. It'll be really funny if you turn it off exactly now and then and then you're really following my directions. But that is the basic idea. There's not really anything else to say. So spend some time introspecting by yourself in the quiet and see what thoughts and feelings emerge. It is engaging with your own thoughts, your own feelings, in order to know yourself better. That's a really good goal. But if you already listened to me, then you've already turned off the screen and you're already introspecting and you're way ahead of most people. And if you didn't listen to me, then it's time to catch up. So if you haven't already, turn the screen off, spend some time with yourself, and actually learn what is going on with you. You will thank yourself. Bye.